Hey, welcome to today's session. In this strength class, we are doing a warm-up, a circuit, and then a little bit of a core finisher. So in terms of equipment, I've got a few things here, but you don't need all of them. So you will need some kind of weight, a kettlebell or some dumbbells. You can get away with just having one, but if you do have a set of the same weight of either kettlebells or dumbbells, then that would be awesome. And I've got a light resistance band here as well. So grab that. Great. Let's get started. Before we get into it, I just want to say I'm going to do 3 rounds of our main work sets today. The option is there for you to just do 1 round. If that's where you're at today, that is a full workout in itself. Or if you're really feeling like going for it, then you could do up to 5 rounds of the circuit. The core session at the end is also optional. I would encourage you to do it. It's fantastic for your core, but if you are not feeling it today, then leave that out as well. Okay, let's jump into things today. Taking about a hip width stance with the feet and relax the shoulders, give them a little roll back. Lift the toes, press them down into the floor, a little bit of a bend through the knees. Belly is soft, jaw is soft, unclench the glutes if they are, and arms down by the side. Let's begin with our 360-degree breath. So inhaling into the belly, the ribs, and the back. Really want you to feel the back ribs expanding. Exhale. Again, inhale. Try not to let the shoulders lift up for you. Exhale. One more time. Inhaling, really expand that whole rib cage. And let it drop back down. Lovely. This time we're going to add on some core and a gentle pelvic floor lift. So inhaling that nice deep breath again. On the exhale, lift and wrap the core, just a moderate effort, and release. Relax everything in between. We're going again. Inhale, expand. Exhale, lift and wrap the core. So you should feel like that hugging the belly button back in towards you and release. Nice. Give everything a little shake out again before we get into our warm up today. So starting with the head and shoulders, let's take the chin down towards the chest and then take the neck just up, the gaze up towards the ceiling and down. Feel that lengthening through the back of the neck and then through the front of the throat. Back to center. Let's take the ear down towards the shoulder, either side. Try not to bring the shoulders up to the ears. And then over to the other side. Nice. Definitely tighter on one side than the other today. Other side. And switch. And now some full circles. So dropping the chin all the way down, then the ear to the shoulder, head back, and all the way around. Noticing the tight, sticky spots here, and see if you can move through them slowly. Nice, change direction. And see if you can keep your breath just going steady and even. Trying not to hold the breath. Nice, and back to center. Let's take the arms out in front now, palms together, as you press the shoulder blades around them, away from each other. Then drive the elbows towards each other. Keep a little soft bend through the knees. And really round through the scapula. And then retract the scapula, so shoulder blades coming together. Nice, one more time. Rounding, rounding, rounding. And elbows back. Beautiful. Now let's take a side reach. You might want to take a bit wider stance with the feet, reaching over and back and over and back. This time reaching over, and then take a little twist out, chest down towards the floor. Back to the front, other side. Reach and rotate down to the floor. And back to the front. Nice. One more for the shoulders. Palms face up. I want you to make a big circle overhead without thrusting the hips and the chest forward. Let's keep that rib cage tucked down towards the pelvis as we let the work here come from the shoulders. So big circle overhead. Keep the palms face up to the roof as you circle back around the face, and then a little circle past the hip. Again, big circle overhead, keeping that rib cage tucked. Little circle past the hip. One more. Big circle. Little circle, let's reverse. So now we're going the other way. Big circle overhead. And again, little circle back past the hip. This one can take a little bit of coordination to get. So don't worry if it's not making sense. Nice, one more time. And rest. Okay, moving down now to the hips. Let's take some big pelvic circles. So really getting into each sort of, I want to say corner of the hip, but those points in the pelvis where we're coming forward, side, back, side. Nice, change direction. Beautiful, and coming back to neutral. Okay, let's move down a little bit to the knees. Little bend through the knees, hands just above, and then we're taking a circle. So we're also getting the movement happening right down into the feet and ankles. You'll notice that I am moving through the feet. They're not just staying still. We really want to feel that grounding down. Other way. And this is really important that we get the feet activated as well in order for the pelvic floor to be able to function and manage load during our strength session. So we're switching them on. If you can train barefoot, like I am, ideal, or have some, thin, minimal shoes as well. Really good for getting into the feet. Okay, and coming up. Now, a couple more drills for the feet before we jump into today's strength work. Standing up nice and tall. This can be a little tricky if you've not done it before. We're going to lift just the big toe on the right foot and place it down. Left foot, just the big toe and place it down. Right foot, just the big toe and down, and just alternating side to side. Keep all the other toes pressed down into the floor, and we're just lifting the big toe. This can be a little bit crampy. Nice, and rest. Now we just want to lift all the other toes. So start on the right foot, big toe down. Can you lift all the rest up? Other side. Just all the other toes. Big toe stays down. Back to the other side. Lift and lower all the other toes. Nice. And lower down. Give them a shake. Right, one more for the feet. This time we're going to wave the toes up and down. So starting on the right side, lifting the big toe, then the second toe, third, fourth, and little toe, and then back, little toe, and then wave them all the way back down to the big toe. Other side, big toe up, second toe, and wave them all the way to the end, little toe, all the way back to big toe. Nice. Hopefully you can feel your feet working a little bit now. I definitely can. Shake them out. Lovely. Okay, let's get stuck into our circuit today. We're going to use the first round just to familiarize with the exercises, so maybe don't go as heavy, or you can choose not to use any weight for that, and then we'll jump in. So you can either follow the rep count I'm doing or adjust depending on where you're at and have a look at the rep ranges that I've suggested. So the first movement that we have today is our goblet squat. You can try this with or without weight. I'm just using my 8 kilo kettlebell. So taking the feet a comfortable distance apart, just make sure the toes are pointing in the same direction. Weight through the foot is big toe, little toe, heel. Press that firmly down. We're inhaling down, exhale up. Keep the weight evenly distributed through the foot. Controlled on the way down, fast on the way up. That's 2. We've got 6 here. 3, 4, 5. Try and get that depth. 6. Lovely. Popping that weight over there for now. Actually, I'll keep that here. The next one we've got is our sumo hang cleans. So this one I'll show you. You can either use one weight, or if you do have a set of dumbbells, then those will be great as well. If you're not this is a bit of a high power movement. If you're not feeling it today, have a look in the box here for an alternative for you if you just want something a little less intense. Okay, taking a sumo stance. Feet are, toes are pointing out. Stance is a little bit wider. Reach down, holding onto your weight. And this is if we're using one. We've got 12 reps here. We're coming up and racking on the shoulder and down. Switch it over and up and slow on the way down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. Exhaling as we lift the weight. 6. We're halfway. I'm going to show you now with the doubles. If you've got the doubles, we're racking up. That's 1, 2, 3. Slow on the way down. 4. Exhaling up. 5. 6. Okay, so they're options depending on the weights you have, or take the alternative. Next we have our scapular push-ups. Just popping the weights over. We're coming down to the floor, coming down through our lunge, nice and controlled. Now, our scapular push-ups, you can either do on the knees or the toes, or in an elevated position with the hands, depending on your strength. What I want you to think about here is maintaining good core control at the midline. So let's start on our knees. Coming forward into a plank position, shoulders down the back, away from the ears. Keeping the arms straight, dropping the shoulder blades towards each other. So those angel wings are pinching together. And then push the ground away, really rounding them as much as possible. We've got 10 here. And down. 2, 3, really round the shoulder blades at the top. 4, 5. You can do these from the toes, just being mindful of your core control. Let's do the last 5 from the toes, otherwise stay to the knees. One leg back, exhale, coming up into that plank position. Really keep that core switched on. If you lose it, come down to the knees. Shoulder blades together. 1, 2. Use the exhale to reconnect with the core. 3, 4, and 5. Coming down. Lovely. We have one more. Okay, the last one we have is our gorilla rows. So coming back up, this one again, you can use one weight or 2. I'll show you both options. Coming up through our lunge, getting really familiar with getting up and down off the floor with good form and control. Makes a lot of difference as you progress through your pregnancy. Okay, gorilla rows. So again, a wider stance, more like the sumo stance, and coming down with a nice straight spine. You do not want to see any rounding backs here. Nice straight spine. Here, you're going to have the weight in front. As you exhale, we row and bring the weight to the hip, and slow on the way down. If you're using one weight, you're alternating sides and down. We've got 12 of these total. 2, 3, exhale as you pull the weight up. 4, 5, 6, that's halfway, keep going. I'm just going to show you the other option with 2 weights. 7, so here you just keep them and alternate per side. 8, 9, 10, straight back, 11, and 12. And coming down. Okay, that's our first round of 3, or you can finish up there for today. If you're continuing on with me, then catch your breath. Clearly pregnancy is making me out of breath. Well, that's the reason I'm gonna use today. And grab yourself a drink of water. We'll just take a minute rest before the next round. Setting my weights up. Hopefully you don't have to move all of your stuff around as much as me. Although that's a workout in itself, isn't it? Nice, just taking a little bit of movement to keep the body warm. You can always take more rest if you need it. Okay, between sets, take as much as you need. Take a couple of minutes. If you're feeling any symptoms, dizzy, then sit down and take a good long rest. Okay, we're going to move into the second round. So now that you're familiar with what we're doing, then you should be all set up. Starting with our goblet squats for 6 reps. So this time I'm going to up my weight a little bit, just use my 10-kilo dumbbell. Setting up. Now nice, tall spine, inhaling down. Slow down, exhale on the way up. Keep that weight distributed through the toes, rib cage down towards the pelvis. 2, 3, 4, 5, last one, and 6. Nice, I'll just get my weights ready for my sumo hang cleans, or you're doing your RDLs. Okay, and here we've got 12 of these, so you're either alternating or using your double weights. Just get into my sumo squat position. Coming down, nice long spine. Exhale on the way up. 1, slow on the way down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, nearly there. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Nice. Weights down. Coming down to the floor for our scapular push-ups. Okay, 10 of these. Knees or toes. Remember, you can always start in one position and change, but really keeping an eye on good form. So exhale to start as we switch on through the core, shoulders down away from the ears, scapula together, press away. It's just the upper part of the spine and chest that are moving here. Keeping that lower back nice and controlled. Glutes are turned on. 2, 3, the arms are straight. 4, 5, you can also be more in an all fours position. 6, if you're feeling like you can't maintain that through the core. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Lovely. Just have our gorilla rows. So coming back up, exhaling to stand. Single or double weights. Nice long spine. Exhale as you pick the weights up. I'll show you from the side this time. You can see what my back is doing. Okay, and we've got 12 total here. Coming down. 1, 2, to the hip. Exhale up. 3, 4, 5. Little pause at the top. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more. 11, 12. Placing the weights down with control. Have a rest. Second round done. Have a sip of water if you need. Just take a minute rest before third and final round, or if you're going to continue, then you can do so after that. Oh, catch my breath. Let's just sway a little bit side to side. I like to kind of keep the energy and the blood flow going whilst I'm resting. So I don't just kind of lie down on the floor and never get up. Little shoulder roll. And we'll be starting with our goblet squats, 6 reps. Okay, preparing for that. So, grabbing weight if you're using your weight. Setting up nice and grounded through the feet, rib cage tucked. And 1, 2, exhale up. 3, 4, 5, last one, 6. Nice, we'll be preparing for our sumo hang cleans. I'm going to use my kettlebell this time. So, setting up in that wide position. Nice, toes are facing out, knees are tracking over toes. And here we go. 1, I've got 12 here. 2, 3, 4, 5, nice long spine, exhale up. 6, 7, 8, 9, nearly there. 10, keep those feet pressed into the floor. Last one. And down. Nice, have a little rest. We're coming down to the floor for our scapular push-ups. Okay, these ones can be tricky to get at first, so don't worry if it feels a little bit clunky. Exhaling to prepare. That gentle switching on through the core. And we've got 10. So arms straight, shoulder blades together, press away. 1, 2, exhale on the way up. 3, 4, 5, halfway there. If you want to change it up. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice, coming down. We just have our gorilla rows left. Coming up, getting ready for that. Setting up your weights. Okay, picking up your weights on the exhale. Nice long spine. And we've got 1, 2, exhaling on the way up. 3, back to the hip. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, nearly there. 9, pulling up with power. 10, 11, last one, all the way to the hip, and popping our weights over there. Beautiful. That brings us to the end of the third round. So now we're going to move on to our core work, if you're joining us for that. All right, for our core work today, we're going to need resistance band attached to something. So you could just attach it to the leg of your table or coffee bench or whatever you've got. Hopefully my cabinet doesn't slide away, but we won't be putting a huge amount of pressure there. And we are also going to be using weights again. So whatever you've been using already for the rest of the session, that'll be fine. So we're coming down for some dead bug variations. So coming down on your side, rolling over onto your back. And here, we won't start with the band, actually, we're just going to start with a regular dead bug variation. So I want you to bring your arms up overhead, exhale, switch on through the core as we bring one leg up and the other leg up. So you might already feel some stuff going on here. I do want you to be mindful of your core activation throughout, and we're not slamming the back into the floor. Also, we're not allowing a big arch in the back, okay? We just want to have the rib cage stacked towards the pelvis, which should sort out everything happening down there. Okay, nice big 360-degree breath before we start. Exhale as we take the right leg, keep the bend in the knee and tap to the floor. Let's just stick with the right leg. Again, tap to the floor. If that feels all right, let's add the arm. So left arm comes back and the left knee is staying exactly where it is. 2, 3, exhaling with that effort, keeping the rib cage stacked. 4, we've got 6, 5, and 6. Stay here. If you do need to rest before the other side, then come down. You can even just bring the knees in a little bit closer to give the core a little bit of a rest. Okay, we're really focusing on that alignment here. So there's a lot going on. Coordination, keeping the rib cage stacked, combining the breath, combining the core activation. Let's just start with the left leg again for a couple of reps. So inhale, exhale, toes tap down and back up. Try not to lose that rib cage connection. And 2, let's add the arm. So now right arm is coming back. This right leg does not move. 1, we've got 6, 2, rib cage down, 3, moving slowly, 4, 5, and 6. Nice. Coming down, have a rest. The next variation is ramping it up a little bit. So also if you don't have a resistance band handy, then just do the same variation again that we just did. Otherwise, you want your band behind you, holding it in the left hand to start. We want to make sure there's tension there, so you've got it a distance away that you can hold it up, your arm up straight, and feel tension in the band the whole time. Okay, let's bring the legs up first. Inhale, exhale, knees up, arms up. Get that tension going in the band. Rib cage stacked, and inhale, exhale, right toes down, and left side. So we're alternating now. Keeping that breath, keeping that connection. We've got 12 here. 3, 4, 5, 6. See what that pelvis is doing. 7, 8. Keep that tension on the band. 9, 10, 11, last one, 12. Rest, but you know we have to do the other side. So have a very short rest and we're coming back up. Or you're repeating option 1, which was without the band. So let's bring the legs up. Inhale, exhale, knees up to that tabletop position. Tension on the band in the right hand now. And we're alternating. Let's start right side. Inhale, exhale. 1, moving slowly. Rib cage stacked. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure there's still tension there on the band. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, last one with control, and 12. Lovely. Rolling over onto the side and coming up. So last one, we have our farmer's carry. I'm going to give you 2 options here. Let me come up and I'll show you. Coming up through our squat position, our lunge position. So this is a integrated core movement where the body has to switch on the deep core muscles to prevent the hips from coming up, the body from dipping over from the added weight. So bend down, exhale, lifting up. This is our suitcase carry. What you want to do here is keep the hips stacked, so we're not letting one hip hike up. The weight is slightly off the body, shoulders are down, and we're not letting that weight tip us to the side. So it's an anti-rotational exercise. If you do have any pelvis instability or pubic symphysis dysfunction that's appearing in your pregnancy already, then for now, I want you to use 2 weights. So if you can, this just creates a little bit more balance for the pelvis for now. So you'll have the double carry here. Now, you do not need a super heavy weight for this. I'm just going to use my 8 kilo. Now we're going to walk. So rib cage stacked the whole time. That's probably the most important thing. We do not want rib cage flaring, bum sticking out, and back arching. We're going to walk for about 1 minute on each side. I'm just going to walk right here so you can see me, but you can walk around your house, walk around a little bit further so you don't have to turn around quite as often. Let's begin. So keeping that nice, tall, upright posture. Ribs stacked. See, mine already want to flare up as well. Shoulders down. And really resisting that urge to tip over like a little teapot to the side. So we're really resisting that. Nice, again, ribcage stacked. Standing up nice and tall, nearly there. Keep breathing. Feel that core working. And we're just going to switch straight over to the other side. Or if you had the doubles, keep going. Or if you need to put them down for a little break, do so. We've got 1 more minute. Nice, ribs stacked. Got 30 more seconds here. Feel the core working. And this is a great one for working the core without putting heaps of front loading on the core. As during pregnancy, we do want to be mindful of that. Last 10 seconds. Nice, again, check the form. Rib cage stacked. Pelvis isn't off to one side. Keeping that nice and even, and we're done. Rest. Good work. Coming down to the floor in a kneeling position, just a comfortable seat. And we're going to take 3 releasing diaphragmatic breaths together just to let go of tension through the pelvic floor and core before we finish up. So shoulders relax, face relax, perhaps closing the eyes and inhaling that nice deep breath. Exhale, even with a little sigh, and letting go. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Relax. Give everything a shake. Beautiful work. Amazing. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next session. Bye.